Russian forces appear to have retaken at least a dozen villages in their embattled Kursk border region in recent days, throwing into doubt Ukraine's continued control over the narrow patch of Russian soil. The Kursk region has been the site of an ongoing battle for the past 7 months, after Ukrainian forces crossed into the Russian border region in a surprise assault in August of 2024. At the height of their offensive, Ukrainian forces held about 500 square miles of Russian soil. As of last month, Russian forces reported they had forced Ukraine's troops to less than 200 square miles. Now, the Russians appear to have taken another swath of territory back from the Ukrainians, and they're poised to close off the Kursk assault altogether. On March 8th, reports first began to emerge that Russian forces had bypassed the Ukrainian lines near Sudzha by sneaking through a defunct gas pipeline that runs near the key town. According to an account of the operation shared by a Russian commander who goes by the call sign Zombie, Russian forces spent about 3 weeks preparing for the assault, pre-staging weapons and equipment in the old gas pipeline. Zombie said about 800 troops, comprised of elements of Russia's Akhmat Special Operations Unit, 3 separate airborne and air assault brigades, and a mechanized infantry unit, participated in this pipeline assault. Separately, Russian Lieutenant General Opti Alodnov, an Akhmat commander, said Russian forces crawled for about 9 miles through the pipeline and first emerged in a forested area near the village of Kubatkin, about 5 miles north of Sudzha. Alodnov said the pipeline infiltrators, quote, immediately entered a forest, drove the enemy out, captured 2 strongholds, and then entered the village of Kubatkin, unquote. By March 11th, Russia's TASS news agency reported Russian forces had captured several villages covering about 40 square miles of territory surrounding Sudzha. The Ukrainian military's general staff initially reported Ukrainian forces had detected the infiltration attempt through the gas pipeline and quickly began to eliminate these Russian forces with rockets, artillery shells, and attack drones. The Ukrainian military said, quote, at present, Russian special forces are being detected, blocked, and destroyed. The enemy's losses in Sudzha are very high, unquote. Neither side has provided a precise casualty assessment of the pipeline assault, and wartime casualty claims are generally difficult to independently verify. While the Ukrainian military reported its troops inflicted heavy casualties on the Russian infiltrators, that does not appear to have stopped the Russian side from retaking some Kursk territory. Footage shared by pro-Russian accounts and since geolocated by Freebase News appears to show Russian troops raising their flag in the Sudzha town square. Other videos posted online show Russian troops smeared in gas residue moving about freely above ground. Russian accounts also shared footage purporting to show dozens of surrendering Ukrainian troops. Speaking with TASS, Alodnov said, quote, except for 2 or 3 villages around Sudzha, all other communities are under the control of Russian troops, unquote. Since Ukrainian forces first entered the Kursk region last summer, analysts have continued to speculate just how long they will hold out on the swath of Russian territory, and to what degree the operation would divert Russian forces from other areas of fighting inside Ukraine. While the Russian military hasn't been able to quickly retake their Kursk territory, their forces have managed to slowly wind back the Ukrainian offensive while continuing to notch incremental territorial gains inside Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has repeatedly referred to Ukraine's Kursk holdings as a bargaining chip that Kyiv may trade for the return of some territory that Russian forces currently control within Ukraine. Now, with Russian troops retaking that Kursk territory, Zelenskyy's bargaining chip may be crumbling. In a March 10 statement, Ukraine's top general, Alexander Syrsky, reported he had dispatched more troops to reinforce the Kursk operation. As of March 12th, Russia's defense ministry reported its forces were continuing to retake villages in the areas surrounding Sudzha and said Ukrainian forces were in retreat. So, will Ukraine be able to stabilize the situation and maintain a foothold inside Russia, or will the Russian gains in Sudzha trigger a broader collapse of Ukraine's Kursk offensive? If Russia is to regain all of its Kursk territory, how long will it take? And if Zelenskyy loses his Kursk bargaining chip, how will it change his position at the negotiating table? If you've watched this far, consider subscribing and leave a comment letting me know what you think.